Welcome to Politics NY with Sky. Schneps Media is asking each candidate running for New York City office this year 3 questions in 3 minutes to get to know everyone a little bit. And I'm here right now with Leslie Boghosian Murphy. She's running for New York City Council District 3. That's on the west side of Manhattan. And let's get to know her a little bit. Leslie, tell us about yourself and why are you running for office this year?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sky, for having me. I've been a resident of Hell's Kitchen here on the West Side for 17 years, living in the same pre-war apartment. I'm now here with my husband, my our 8-year-old daughter Cecilia, and our rescue pup Bailey. And I guess my background is I'm really the very, very proud granddaughter of immigrants. All four of my grandparents fled Armenian genocide and ended up here in New York City, not knowing a stitch of English. And I'm a third generation New Yorker. And I was extremely close to my maternal grandfather. So as a survivor and a refugee, he had a very strong sense of right and wrong and what was just and unjust. And he instilled that sense in me as well. And I think, Sky, it's what led me to journalism. And it was my privilege to work for years as an Emmy award-winning journalist, spending over 20 years traveling the world and telling stories of the marginalized. And then when I had my daughter, going halfway around the world was a tougher sell. So really, I just looked to get more involved at home. I was on the board of my building. I was elected to, and then I was on our block association. Now I'm an executive member of our community board. And I think it grew organically every step of the way. And I never imagined I would seek public office. But I think when COVID came along and I saw really, it's a shame to say, but the collective failure of government really at every level, that I wanted to jump in with both feet and take care of all these people that make up my neighborhood, the small business owners, the educators, the NYCHA residents, the elderly. And I hope that I can do that.
And I know it's a competitive race, Leslie. It's an open seat for Council District 3. So what is it about you and maybe your experience that would make you the best candidate in this race?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I never imagined I would seek public office, right? I never thought this, but this campaign has really grown organically. And I think the tragedy of COVID exposed cracks in the system that already existed. And Sky, you've heard this, you're involved with politics, right? We've had years of leadership, regardless of whether they said the right things in public, lack the private in private lack the political will to do the hard work to fix it, right? So we'll be in rebuilding mode and City Hall is going to be making tough choices. So I think what makes me stand out is we need representation who has experience and wherewithal for tough decision making, and not for an immediate fix, but for solving real long-term problems. And I think the experience, my neighborhood experience, my volunteer experience, my reporting experience, I think, and the mindset makes me the most uniquely qualified to handle these hard decisions ahead.
Definitely. So now, Leslie, tell us something fun or interesting. I know you mentioned you have the journalism background, so you could tell us a little bit more about that, unless there's something else that you want everyone to know that maybe they don't know about you.
Yeah, sure. I was a journalist before I entered the candidacy field here, and jumping into my neighborhood volunteerism. So before I was an investigative journalist, I was a sports reporter. I was an NFL reporter and an NBA beat reporter. So I would always get asked the same questions. Did you go in the locker room? The answer is yes. I went in every locker room. I was a beat reporter. I lived in the locker room and I would fly on the team plane. And I got to tell you, the food on an NBA team plane is like a spread you have never seen before. So that's a fun fact. I really enjoy it. I actually really miss those days. It was fun to get, the camaraderie and traveling around the world. But I really enjoy what I'm doing now, closer to home, and just really putting 100% into my community.
Really awesome. Thank you, Leslie Boghosian Murphy, candidate for New York City Council District 3 in Manhattan. You've been watching Schneps Media's 3 questions in 3 minutes, and I'm Sky with Politics NY.